Yeah, I know Trap Hideout was for Carol originally. Like, my point still stands. There are like specific things they have for each other character. And yeah, Trap Hideout does actually. I would argue Trap Hideout almost doesn't fit Neela's design compared to the other stages. But I don't. They couldn't really have her do whatever the Jade. I think it is. No, Jade Creek is the one before that. Stage. Pangu Lagoon. So I should know this. I studied the game how much for SGDQ commentary. I've got like a 115 or something in the game from doing almost no work on it. Pretty mediocre so far. Okay, sure. We take those. Twitch is derping. I did that earlier too, where it said I was straight up offline. Is what it's saying right now. It is saying I'm straight up offline, despite the fact it's still doing this. Are you implying flat isn't just a human task? Come on. Be real here. Flash is like, dude, that's too much credit. Don't put that kind of pressure on me. I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about commentary that much. Unfortunately, my first pick for commentary will not be there, which would be Dacid Bro. So.
steps. New record. To reach the summit.
Oh. Okay. Sure, we'll take it. But I'm gonna look like a genius for that. That was entirely unintentional. Yeah, it's pseudo-random.
This is a surprise. I was actually quite fascinated.
Yeah, you said it to me. So. To be fair, the only reason I had to be brilliant was because I got a cracked block. Again, that was the game picking the very worst type of block it could give me in that situation.
3, 2, 1, fire. New record.
I mean, even if it isn't, I think that would be what task block should do at some point, is just sit down, have Malio and a couple other taskers sit down, watch the TTYD task, and go to town whenever he finishes the new route with it. Even if it isn't RTA viable. Instead of doing all the random crap they keep throwing at the wall, trying to recapture magic they really just don't have anymore. It's like, I agree with Spike in that, like, if they literally would just sit down and play the 120 star tasks and talk about it, have like Puncation or like some really, like whatever the most personable Mario 64 runner is that understands the game, the taskers, like one of the taskers that worked on it, and then just a general tasker or someone like that, or like, heck, even like a Trihex or someone to ask questions, it would be amazing, and people would like lose their shit. It's like, nope. We're gonna try to inject Twitch chat into literally everything again, because that worked once. Ace has to be done because we did that once and it was super awesome, so we're gonna do that. Like, no, just show a task. You know, pick one that's really. I guess they're like, oh, we would try that with Ikaruga, but it's like you chose a like one of the worst types of games to showcase for a task. Yeah, Super Mario 64, 70 stars then is a bonus, and 50 star Mario 64 DS is through. It's like, if Task Block wants a block, they'll always get it. Like, I said that to Spike. Like, the last thing any speedrunner wants to do is make the tasking community mad at us for any reason whatsoever. But they're really just not doing a good job of putting their best foot forward for GDQ stuff.
New record. He's gone 70 steps.
'Cause I don't. The problem is, like, they had so much success on the one that they don't know what to do with it anymore. Is really the problem. They're a victim of their own success.
New record, new record, new record. New record, new record.
Like,
New record.
here's another example. When they had the Mario World, where the first time they did the Mario World injection, and they had the,
New record, new record.
you know, you can play Snake and whatever else with it.
New record.
Like, that blew people's minds, right? And their follow-up the next year was to do that again and actually build Mario 1 in it. That could have been a showstopper by itself, and they used it as like a part of another, like a block, and it like got no attention because of it. It's like, guys, you had like sheer brilliance right there that you could have used in an SGDQ or something. There's like a follow-up to that. Like, do you know how complicated tasking that must have been? Like, surely that would have been enough by itself if they played another task, rather than, and then next year they have Pokemon Red, and it's like, to do that instead of having to use like both of them at once and nobody care about one of them.
New record. New record, new record, new record, new record. New record.
Oh, I just OS'd. Oops. Okay.
New record. New record. Step new record. Just hit 110. New record. New record. New record. New record. The goal is in sight. New record. New record.
And like another example,
New record.
you know, one of the biggest mistakes they made last year was the tasking competition race thing. And they offer it again. And it's like, I would argue it's a neat idea that will never actually work. You know, like, oh, dude, wouldn't it be cool if we could task? But the problem is that, like, your options for that are terrible. Your options are to go for, if any game is significant enough for people to, that are seeing it to understand it, then it's had tasking work done on it in the past, and it doesn't work for the challenge.
Let's go.
I don't know, like, Dwango's a good guy, but he really is frustrating at times. Because there are times where you just don't really think he gets it.
2.
Or like why some of his past showcase, like why some games are really good for that block and why some games aren't.
New record. New record. What is he going to do? New record. 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 Watch out. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record.
The Brain Age thing, okay, so here's the deal with Brain Age. That is, the original task of that is actually one of my favorite tasks of all time.
New record.
But in a live marathon setting, the joke is old very quickly. If you don't specifically seek that out,
New record.
then the joke does not last the full 30 minutes. Now, if you see it for the first time,
New record.
and you're like, oh, dude, this looks hilarious and I want to check this out, that joke will last the full 30 minutes.
New record. New record. New record.
But the audience is not right for that
New
bit.
record. New record.
Like, I still thought it was good, but it went on way longer than it should have, and that's partly because I'd already seen it, and partly just because it really didn't fit the setting all that well.
New record.
Same thing, like, they've got the Scribblenauts thing, where they want to do people playing Scribblenauts from home, and a bot entering the inputs for them. It's like,
New record.
that's literally what Twitch Plays Pokemon does, except you're going to have the bot read text and input it. Like, which is impressive, don't get me wrong, But it's no different than if like Warner Brothers or whoever owns the license to Scribblenauts were to build that into a future thing. Like I've said, like I don't know if I've said this out loud, but I think Nintendo should have, like, as soon as Twitch Plays Pokemon became a thing, they should have actually done that for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, because those were like just about to come out when that hit. Like they should have done everything in their power to make that work for them. You know, let people play the game a week early by doing one input at a time. Do you know how, like, much people would have gotten into that? To have a review copy of that and play it a week early? Yeah, Seth Wing did. Which, okay. Like I said, they've already done every other Flash game. Might as well do Flappy Bird. I can understand why Nintendo didn't do it. Like, that would have been a very progressive thing. There are so few developers that would ever think to do that. And honestly, Pokemon is lucky in that the way the game is structured really works for the whole Twitch Plays concept. But basically, they let someone else capitalize on their own thing when they could have used someone else's brilliant idea and used it for their own marketing. And like, you know, just curving it would have been great. Keeping it fake.
The goal is in sight. New record, new record, new record. New record. One. New record, new record. New record.
Now, Nintendo doesn't hate casters. Nintendo hates emulators. There's a difference.
They just beat the ultimate.
It is still possible for me to PB here.
Actually, that wasn't half bad.
Access.
All right.
There's some interesting things done with emulation, though, and ROMs and all that. Like, apparently Final Fantasy VI on Steam literally has a Game Boy Advance ROM in it, and the game uses that for, like, calculations and data and stuff. And then it outputs it into its own version, but, like, it, like, uses the ROM as a black box, and then pulls from it to actually, like, make the game.
2. 1.
I think that, like, that's, like, absolutely brilliant.
New record.
Like, whatever you actually think of Final Fantasy VI on Steam, you have to admit that is incredibly cool programming.
New record. New record. New record. New record. New
Yo, Cosmic, what's up, bud?
New record. New record. That rock new record. New record. New record.
It did finally get in, I know.
New record.
And thank you for the 4 months in a row, man. It really means a lot. I'll get to work. I've been really busy with Dallas Marathon stuff, so I need to get need to figure out who to reach out to get actual emotes made, but I need to get that done soon.
New record. New record. New record. New record. 30 new record. 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 He's gone. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record.
I was a bit worried that the game was going to lag there and screw up my input.
New record. New record. He's now new record. New record. New record. New record.
Yeah, I've got the most unique puzzle game at SGDQ this year, at least. I was a bit surprised on Tetris Attack, to be totally honest. It's a pleasant surprise, because I do like the game, but I still think, like, the problem with Tetris Attack is the version people want to see is not Tetris Attack. If you're gonna have Tetris Attack, you should have Pokemon Puzzle League in instead.
New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. New record. 60 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. They keep.
I disagree, actually. TGM, I think,
New record.
compared to Step Mania, TGM has done an incredible job with their showcases. The biggest problem with TGM is they do not know how to set up quickly because of the way their consoles work, where they have to get super guns working and everything else. Like, understandably so. It's a pain in the ass for them to get set up.
New record. New record. New record.
Puyo Puyo is hard. I watched a bit of it, and like, it's very easy to see the skill in it, and like, understand that, like, yeah, this is really cool, like, you know, to see that you're good. The problem is that, unlike Tetris, it's a lot harder to tell when, like, because what you do in Puyo Puyo is you set up giant chains. And those chains are very hard to see if you haven't actually played the game before. So it looks like, to somebody that might not understand the game as well, it looks a lot like, and I'm about 20 seconds faster than my last run here. Yeah, like that is a problem with TGMs, that they potentially are out of things to do. But anyways, back to Puyo Puyo. Chains are really hard to see if you haven't played the game. That's your biggest obstacle, really.
New record. New record. New record. New record.
Like, I think Catherine, it's relatively straightforward. It's like, okay, he's got to get up somehow. It's almost.
New record.
And I'm not trying to insult Puyo Puyo. Don't take it as that. I'm just trying to give you honest feedback for what you can do to try to improve it, and commentary and stuff like that. But that's what you need to look at, is trying to make it easier to understand what you're doing, whether that's with commentary or what. But that is going to be your biggest challenge.
New record. New record.
You know, Tetris, everybody's played so much Tetris, and even if you haven't, it's pretty easy. Get a whole line, things go away.
New record. New record. New record.
Like I said, the biggest compliment I can say for that your Puyo Puyo is that it's actually, I don't see stuff until it happens.
110 New record. New record. New record. New record. New record.
Which people can probably say for this as well. Like, oh, dude, I did not even see, like, how did he know to do that?
He's gone 120 steps. New record. 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 New record.
Yeah, having you on couch will be really nice. That'll be,
New record.
especially, like, and I'm not trying to knock on Vlad, but since Vlad generally streams without a mic, it's a very difficult transition if you're not used to it. So having somebody to help take the load off is going to be great there for sure. I'll say, if you weren't going to be there, I was going to offer to help if you needed it, but I figured Freedom Planet's got a big enough community where I shouldn't be needed for that, but...
New record.
I don't know, I still love that game, so... And the speedrun, so...
New record. New record. New record. Are we finally going to new record? New record. Babel. New record. New record. 150 steps. New record. New record. New record. New record. This long journey is new record. New record. New record.
You gotta be kidding me.
New record.
You've got to be kidding me, dude.
New record.
I know this isn't fucking real.
New record. New record. New record. New record. New record.
Fuck off with that shit.
Universe-beating climbers. You're amazing. Damn, that was some fancy footwork.
You've got to be kidding me. This wasn't a good run. That was a terrible run. I finished that out of a sense of obligation. Like, oh, well, I can technically PB. You know, so I should finish this because it's possible. And then I freaking gold split by over a freaking minute on the last split. Look at this. Look how ugly this is. I was plus 10 on Alter last run, and then this happens. I'm so mad.